I'd like to welcome you all to our Working with Portraits webinar designed to support the school annual online yearbook program. Our goal this afternoon will be to focus on the functions of the program associated with student portraits. Specifically, we'll be reviewing printing class sheets for other teachers, parents, helpers to review and correct, strategies for detecting duplicate images, correcting student names, categorizing students, and using the flow functions to create portrait pages. This webinar will be approximately 35 minutes. So let's go ahead and get started. So one of the first things we want to do once we get everything loaded into the our portraits in our image library is we want to create a class sheet or a class list in order to get those to the teachers or the parents or anyone else who may be helping you to make sure those images are correct. The very important thing is to make sure the student's names are spelled correctly. The student's name is associated with the correct image. The correct image is being used. So let's go ahead and look how to do that. So after logging into the system right here, we're going to go over to Create, and we're going to go down to Image Library. So here under Portrait, there is a little arrow that's pointing at the word Portrait. If we click on that, we can see our subfolders right here. Here we can click on one of our classes. And then as soon as we do that, there is an option that opens up right here. You will see the word preview right here. If you hover over it, it says preview the selected category's image in a PDF. So if we click on preview, another tab is going to open up here. And here we can get a PDF of our current students that are in that folder. Here we can print this off, send this to the teacher or to the helper or someone, whoever's job it is to make sure that the student is in the correct class, the student's name is correct, this correct image is being used. So as soon as that is printed off and sent off, you can get that back, get those changes made. So while we're, you know, getting that sent off and getting that fixed, we're going to go over and we're going to talk about the coverage report. To get to the coverage report, first we're going to click on Create and then Coverage Report here at the bottom. And we're going to talk about a few things right here. First, we're going to say will list all the student and faculty or whoever is in your portraits. This will have the list right here. You can sort it by alphabetical order, by first or last name. And then here you can also make any changes. Any changes made here will be made in the image library. So if I see this person right here, let's say that it's not supposed to be an E, that is supposed to be a Y, or Emily, that's supposed to be IE, that's supposed to be Y, or or Alexandria here, it's just supposed to be just Alex, or Matthew, uh, just Matt. Any changes you make here that will be made in our image library. So here's one of our teachers right here. This is one of our faculty. I'm just going to go ahead and list him as a faculty. We're going to go back to his folder right now. So if we want to say that is, we want to put the teacher's first name right there. So we can do that, and when we go back to it, we can show you that fix has been taken hold in the image library. Next thing we want to talk about is this tab right here, number of times in book. For most schools, we understand that some may have a policy or may have a standing thing that says students must be in the book more than once outside their portrait images. So in this case, we have number of times in book. So you can click this, and see the number of times that each student is in the book, and not just the number of times. You can also see on which page right here. So we have this any right here with one time, and they're on page 32. So if you need to see what the page looks like, you can click on here, and it takes you to the page that they're on. Or you can come over here and click this little eye right here, and not only will it show you the page that they're on, but the picture that they're in. And it will also show you their face right there. You could do that to, say, this one right here. They'll show you what their portrait image looks like. So you can actually see the pages that they're in and what images they're in, or what images are being used. All right. So now that you maybe have got your reports back, or your pages back with any corrections or stuff like that. So we're going to go back to our image library. We're going to go back to our teacher, and we're going to look right here. You can see that the change has already taken place. He had Mr. for a first name, and now he has Aaron for a first name. So you can see that change has taken place. And the coverage report's a good way to, if you don't know the student or don't know what teacher that student is in, but you have a list of names that you need to check, you can always go to the coverage report, check that out. If you see a name is misspelled, you can make that correction real quick instead of going to individual folders to individual student names and stuff like that. So here we can make several different changes here in individual folders. First off, we can look at this and say we have a, even though it's the same photo, we're going to say that this one is the retake, this one is the original image. All right, so we're going to say that the original image was better than the retake. So we don't need this retake at all. So some of the things that we can do is we could, one, delete the image, or we could click on this image, click on either tag name to bring this screen up, or we can click on this little blue dot right here with the exclamation with the letter I in it. Click on that, and we can bring this screen up right here. Next, we can click on details. This second section right here says use portrait. Currently, we're using the portrait. We can click on the down arrow, and we can say don't use portrait. We can apply this change and click done. This tells the system to bypass this photo and don't use it. You will see don't use right here. That means it's not going to get used in the flow. It's not going to get counted as one of your images. Now, the benefit of doing this is in case the parent comes back and says, hey, use the retake. So now you're not having to scramble to find that retake photo. It's just simply marked do not use. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look over here. Sometimes you will have this once in a while. You'll have twins. So make sure that the names are correct. But here we have a duplicate image of this person. So here's another one where you can just click on this, tag name, details. You'll see use portrait, don't use portrait, apply change, done. All right. So another option that we have under that is use no photo. You may have a student, we'll say this student right here, for whatever reasons, maybe it be legal, maybe it be safety, they just can't have their image inside the book. So they can have their name, but just not their image. So to get their name in the book, what we can do is click on this image, click on this blue little dot, come over here to details. Then instead of don't use portrait, we're going to come over here, we're going to say use no photo. Then we're going to click on apply change and then done. Now what that will do is use the system's default no photo, and we'll show you what that looks like here later. So for any time you may need to fix a name or change a name or anything like that, you can click on the image, click on tag name. There's this little pencil right here that says edit. You can click on that, you'll get a little pop-up right here. Just click on continue. The only thing we actually require if you upload an image and need to tag it, the only thing we actually require is just the first name and last name. That's it. So here we can change that. We can change that back to Mr. And then we can click on save. The change takes effect right there. Click on done, and then there you go. The image library is set up in alphabetical order. So if you get an image like this one right here, and let's just go ahead and tag this image right here. We click add, and then we can say, and then save, and then done. You will see that that image is moved down here because the image library is alphabetical by last name, and so because we changed the tag right here, it just fell in alphabetical order. So if you see a student, say this student right here, that's not in this class, but you know what class they need to be in, it's simple to move them. All you do is click and hold. You'll see that little kind of a ghost image up here right there. So you'll see that up here. All you have to do is just click and hold, drag it to whatever file they're supposed to be in. The file will highlight and you'll see the word move right here next to the number of images. So all you have to do is just let go. You'll see the number of images have changed and we go into this file. There's that student. To move multiple, all you have to do is click on one and you can hold the shift key if you need to move that whole entire group right here. Or you can hold the control key and select on just the individual students that you need to move. And then you can move those, click and hold, move them to the next class and they'll move over. All right, so next we're going to talk about no photos. If you have a student that comes in that just doesn't have a photo at all, or you have a student that arrives late in the year and just doesn't have time to take a photo, you can add a new photo. To do that, we're going to come over here to clip art. We're going to go by type. Then we're going to go to borders. And we're going to scroll down just a little bit. And in here we have here all the way to right here. Here are all your no photos. So all you have to do is just find one that you like. Um, Click on the one that you like right there. Click on download. And then I'm just going to download that to my pictures. And we're just going to download that right there. We're going to come back up to portrait. And then we're going to upload. And then I'm going to go back to my pictures right here. Click and hold. Drag that image in here, or you can click on upload image right here. It will bring up your file explorer, navigate to where that file was just saved. Click on it and then click on open. I'm going to click and hold and do that. And now it's green means it's done. And then I have that image right here. So to tag an image, we're going to click on this, click on tag, click on add, and just a first and last name. What we have to do is just click on save, done, and then the name just falls into alphabetical order and is now there with a no photo. And yes, you'll have to do this for each teacher that has a no photo. You'll have to upload one and tag the name. All right, so now let's get to actually creating a image flow. So we'll go to Create a new page designer, which will take you to the last page that you were just at. So to create a image flow, we're going to do one from scratch so that way you know how to do it. And then we'll talk about templates, and then we'll go to actually flowing a class in some of the troubleshooting there. So to flow a class, you click on flow, and then first we're going to choose one of these six flow elements right here. Uh, Differences are between some of these is here you got the names on top, the names on the bottom. You have the traditional names to the side here. Then you got names to the side on each individual one, to the left and right. Now we're going to get these two over here. We're going to talk about the differences between these two flow elements here real quick. So let's talk about this first one right here. So as soon as we click on this, we're going to have this toolbar at the very top right here open up. So as we click off, the toolbar goes away. So as we click on them, the toolbar's right there. Also, it's easy to identify a flow element um, versus an image frame. An image frame will have this like little mountain sun inside a frame. So this is an image frame. Your portraits will look like like a person in the middle with the head shoulders. So that's how you know this is a flow element for your portraits. So this one right here, you will see that we have more images than we will need. So if we go to category in the class that we were just in, if you come down right below where it says name format, you'll see the number of images in the file is 25. So obviously we have more boxes than we actually need for this class. So to edit this image flow or this portrait flow here, we click on it, and then we're going to go to this little uh, in the middle here, this flow options right here, this tiny little dot with a down arrow. Before we do that, let's talk about this toolbar. First off, we have our fonts right here. So anytime we want to select a font or we want to change the font, you can change the font right here. Do this before you flow. You can also change the size of the text right here. If you see these red X, that means the text is larger than the box that it's in. So just lower your text size. Do this before you flow. If you want to change the coloring of the letters right here, you can change that before you flow. You can also add a stroke style by simply clicking the down arrow and clicking on this solid line, or you can come over here and just simply click on a number and it will add that stroke style before you flow. Here you can bold, italic. Some of the fonts will actually take away bold and italic just because of the style that the font is done in. You can also do underline. Text transformation is the original style, all lowercase, all uppercase, whatever you want to do here. But again, do this before you flow. So here we have flow options. We're going to click on the down arrow here. First thing we're going to do is uncheck automatic. And the reason why we want to do that is automatic will as you take away rows or columns, it will adjust these boxes to stay in the current size. So if I take away rows, you can see that those blue boxes are getting taller because it wants to stay in that current size. So by unchecking automatic, now when I get rid of row, you can see the number of boxes are disappearing. And now we can actually go back and actually move this down to wherever we want it. So rows are left and right, columns up and down. Next is your portrait dimension. Here's where you can change the uh, how tall or how wide those boxes are. So we get rid of some columns here. We can actually change how wide it is. Now you may get this little pop-up right here that says the value you entered exceeds the boundaries. That means that it doesn't want to leave in that blue box that is right here. It wants to stay safe and sound inside that blue box. So that's why you will get that little pop-up. To fix that, you can actually click in here. You can actually delete that 0 and say you can want to move it to 5. So you can actually move it just a little bit at a time here. And let's say we want to move that up to a 6. You can actually go in and actually move those up just a little bit, make small little minor tweaks if you want to. Portrait spacing here is the horizontal and vertical. That's just the spacing between the blue boxes. So if you want to do vertical, you can see that there's a little more spacing between them, or you can just leave them alone as they are. Name width is you can add a little bit more. So if you have a long name, you could probably add just a little bit to the name width to accommodate a long name. Next is the portrait shape. Here we have different shapes, squares, diamonds, octagons. Square is the only one with this one right here. This option is to round off the corners just a little bit. Next is name option, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So here real quick, let's get rid of this. So we have our flow element right here that we have, we've got it set up the way we want it, but we want it over here as well on this next page. To do that, we're going to click on this. We're going to come all the way over here to the right. The first word, right? Well, the first one right here is duplicate, and it does just that. It duplicates what we have clicked or what we have selected here. So we're going to click on this, and it's already duplicated. We can move this to the side. Now, the only problem is the names are on the inside. We want them on the outside. That's where we come back to flow options in this name option right here at the in the middle. We click on this and we can see names on left horizontal. If we click that that down arrow right there, right below it is names on right horizontal. Click on that, and now the names are on the other side. And then from here, you could actually go up to File, save this as a template, just give it a name, and now you have your template saved, and you have everything ready to go. You just have to go to Designs and then drop this template onto your other pages, so that way you don't have to keep doing this. All right, so let's undo. There we go. So that is it for flow, the flow options. Just a minute. Okay, so let's go over here to the flow right here. First is the category. That's you're just selecting the teacher, just selecting whatever folder you want to put on that page. Next is the name format. This first, last, so first name, last name. The number of images, that are flowed, and the number of images are remaining. Please check that after you're done flowing, because a lot of times you will flow those over and there may be one image remaining, and then the book is printed and delivered, and you have an angry parent because their child's not in the book. So definitely check and make sure that this is 0 right here after you flow. Next is start and stop. This is where we want to start the flow, and this is where we want to stop the flow. So we want to start on page 48 and we want to stop on page 48 or 49 or 50 or whatever you would need to stop the flow. Here you're going to see a red number of available positions. Here you're going to see it's red right here. It's telling us that basically there's not enough positions here. This is a warning. This is you don't have enough positions to flow these images in. So we have to fix that, and I'll show you how to fix that here in a second. So next we have the flow button right here. And here's one of the troubleshoots we'll get into. So once you have everything set up, a lot of people will come down here and they'll just click on flow, and they'll get this little message right here. This little message that says portrait warning, the pages selected do not have enough images. And we get this call a lot. It says, well, I have I have a flow element on there. I have plenty of boxes. Why won't my images flow? We need to do one simple thing before we do that. Come up here and click the save icon or file and save, whichever one you're comfortable with. Once we hit the save icon, and if you take a look at this area where it's red, once we have it saved, then it should tell us that we have 24 available positions. So we need at least one more position. So let's go back to a flow. Let's add a row. All right, now let's save it and take a look at this red area. And why are you still there? Oh, because it's 46, that's why. There we go. Also, here's another troubleshoot. Make sure that your start and stop is on the actual page you're trying to flow on. So here we have start on 46, stop on 46. The red area, the red box is now gone because we now have 36 available positions. So to reduce that, because we don't need that many, we could just do that, save. Now we have 30 positions, which is fine. So now we can come down here and click on flow. And it will ask us if we want to save. Because we moved that flow element down, we have to save it. So now that our class is flowed right here, any remaining boxes will be in a hidden state. So the boxes are still there, they're just hidden. So all we have to do is there's a little eye in this corner. If we click that, the box comes back. And if we click it again, the box goes away. Here is the standard no photo available. So here's the system's, basically the system's no photo right here. That was for the student that can't have their photo in there. And then here is the no photo that you upload or create your own or whatever. So here's the difference between the two no photo available. All right. So one thing I want to touch on. So let's say that you have this teacher who is out of it's just somewhere into the flow and should be the first person. Um, so we're going to come over here to details and we're going to see type teacher. So if this one was a student, let's do this. So here we have a student, teacher that's out of place. They need to be the first person flowed. The system does have like a hierarchy system where it's teacher, assistant, student, and then other. So here we can just go over to the person, click this little circle with the letter I. It'll bring up this image detail sign, well, this image details. Click on details, go to type, change it from a student to a teacher, click on done. And I would do this, then reset, reflow, and then everything's fixed for you. Right. Now let's talk about this other one right here. So the difference between these two is one, this flow element right here is you have to change the number of rows and element or the number of rows and columns, then resize the boxes. This one right here is the opposite. Here you have to resize the boxes and then add another column, another row, another column before you flow into them. So that's really just the difference between the two. So it's one of those things that once you put one of these flow elements on there, um, it's one thing to think about, like how do I get as many on there as possible? Well, if I have one that has 50 some boxes on it, then that's just a reducing the number of columns and rows and then expanding them to meet my needs. And then this other one is just reducing the height and width and expanding the columns and rows to meet my needs. All right, so we're going to go ahead and reset this. And next, we're going to talk about, real quick, we're going to talk about uh, templates. So we're going to go up to design. We're going to click this little down arrow right here, and we're going to go down all the way to portraits. Now you can do one of many different ways here. You can click on the word portraits and then scroll down to the different kinds of portraits right here and see which ones you like. Or if you know you have a class of maybe 15 students, so you can go to 11 to 20 photos, click on that, and you just bring up just the templates that will meet the 11 to 20 need. As soon as you find one, you can click and hold, drag it over, let go, click on yes, and there we go right there. So there's the left, and then there's the right. All right, so we're going to save this, and you can always go back to flow. Only difference is with the start and stop on this is we're going to start on 46, stop on 47. All right, and then we can go ahead and click on flow. I know it's going to give me that warning, but just to show you, you click on flow, and then you can flow your class on two separate pages. Right. Okay, just checking my list, make sure I have everything covered. So once you have the portraits flowed in, it's always a good idea to double check once again the names and the images. Make sure everything is flowed over correctly. Make sure all the images have flown over correctly. Because checking your book, some of that might be the reason why we uh, send your book back to you. One thing to check for is the names. So if you have a background, a dark background like this, and then you go and you go and flow the names. I mean, you're not going to see those names. So it's just another reason to check and say, "Well, wait a minute, I need to reset." Um, Click on here and then maybe change those names to something that can be seen. So then reflow your class and do all that. So if you see red X's, that means that the text is larger than the box that it's in. So all you have to do is reset your flow, click on your flow elements, go back up here to font size and just reduce it. A lot of times you can just reduce it by 1. So you can actually click inside, change that 8 to a 7, click on enter on your keyboard, and it will change that font size. Otherwise, the rest of these are in evens. All right, so we'll take this time right now to open it up to any questions. So if you want to take yourself off mute, ask any questions, we can answer those right here. Or if you want to type your answer or your question in the chat, you could do so right now.
Hi, it's Maggie. I have a question.
Okay.
If you create your portrait page and you've got the background color and the font size and everything that you like, is there a way to save that template for like the other grades before you flow portraits, or is hitting
Yes.
the duplicate button the best
Yeah.
way?
Nope. So if we create this right here and we like this the way it is, we can go up to File, Save as a Template. We can say like first grade portrait. It do both, or left, right. Typically, I would do both, then save one right, save one left, just in case you have a page that starts on the left and ends on the right, or starts on an odd page and ends on an even page. You still have templates you can drag and drop. So as soon as we're done with that, click on Save, come up to Designs. We're going to scroll back up to Custom, My Templates, and then it's right there. So we can go to the next page, click and hold, drag that on there, click on save, and there it is.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yep.
I had a question about getting the portraits added to the website. I guess right now I have no portraits, just the pictures I've uploaded myself. Is that something that automatically gets done, or do I
You can
have
send
to?
those in to us, and then we can upload them. With uploading them, we upload them according to no, not a page ladder. I know you know we upload those according to either grade, teacher, and then we also tag them. Tagged images will have this green like little price tag next to them. So that's how you know they've been tagged. In that way, when you flow, the image and the name flows onto the page. Otherwise, it's just the image that flows. So you send them
So
into
you were
us.
you were the guys that took the pictures. You came to the school and took the pictures. So
JPEGs.
y- I
Yeah,
don't know. Am I
yeah.
am I supposed to get an email saying it's uploaded, or do I have to ask for it to be loaded
No,
up?
it should
Or
have been sent over and uploaded. Um,
okay.
yeah. What's your what's your job number? Do you know that?
I left it at school.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if
I mean, I can reach out to my rep. I was
yeah,
curious
yeah,
if
you
there was
can reach
something
out
I
to your
was
rep
supposed to
or
do.
email me at support@schoolannual.com, and I can get an email over
Okay.
to them and see where it's at or what's going on with it, and get that taken care of for you.
I just also want to confirm, I have a yearbook club group with 4 students that will be doing this. We can all work on this together at the same time on different computers
So,
without a problem. It's multiple people
so what they
can
cannot
sign
do,
in and
yeah, so what they cannot do is if you have one person assigned to 44 and one person assigned to 45, they can't work like this. Because whoever saves it takes ownership of the page. So what you would have to do is come up to view on both of them, go up to view, and here you'll see facing pages is selected. If you select on single page on both of them, now one can work on page 44 while the other one works on 45, and there's no save conflict. So I can comfortably work on this while you're working on the other page, and there's no issue.
And do you recommend us saving like every 5 minutes, or does it automatically
I
save
would
our?
save early, save often, um, because if you ever make a mistake, guess what? Right here in your history, here's older versions. Here is every single version. Every time I click this save button, is right here. I could go all the way back to here. It is 6/1 of 23 at 1:48 p.m. Click and hold and drop that back on there. I can go all the way back to when this particular demo was created and drop the blank page back on there. So your whole entire history is right here, and same as the other page. The whole entire history of that page is right here. So I can go back and click and hold and drop anything I want on there. So yeah, I would definitely say maybe every 5 minutes or after something major that they've created, go ahead and save it. It doesn't hurt to save it. That way, if anything happens, you can always go back to that history, and it's always there. So if someone jumps on this page and sits there and deletes it, it saves it, and you think everything's gone, well, it's not gone. It's right here in your history. Just select and drag it over. It's right there. So. Any other questions, comments, concerns, inquiries?
I
Yes.
did find that job number.
Okay. Yeah, the recording will go out to everyone either later on today or tomorrow. This is being recorded. It'll also go onto our YouTube site. We do have a YouTube channel right here, School Annual by Jostens. Here you will see our previous webinars. We also have tech shorts right here. All of our little things like saving a template, viewing pages as a PDF, logging into your account, active, inactive fonts, flowing a pages short, basically a short version of what I just went through, creating a yearbook page using spell check. I mean, we have basically the whole entire program, and we just basically went through and just cut out what we want and talked about it all through here. And so you can just go through and watch all those. We also have like this current year's webinars, including the new page ladder, flowing portraits. So yeah, so everything will be added up here right afterwards. So. All right, so let me read this here real quick. I'd like to thank you all for joining us this afternoon. The demonstrations of the functions related to the creation of portrait pages should eliminate some time, eliminate some of the trial and error that occur when working with Yearbook. Printing your portrait pages and editing class data ahead of time should help resolve should result in better accuracy on some of the most important pages of a yearbook. Feel free to join us next time for creating activity pages and candid pages. That will be on Thursday. And then in March, hopefully you'll get a reminder later. We will be talking about the end of your book, getting it ready to submit, how to find errors, how to fix things on your book real quick before you submit it. So that is a very important webinar to sign up for, even if you just want the video. Make sure you sign up for it so that way you can get that information.